This is a story about a man who intentionally made his players hate him. A man who sacrificed comfort, unity, and friendship to build something cold, hard, and unstoppable. His target? The greatest dynasty in sports history, the Soviet Red Machine. The year was 1980. The Cold War was freezing over, and in the world of hockey, there was only one superpower, the Soviet Union. They were professional soldiers who dominated the Olympics for 2 decades, crushing every amateur team in their path. The American team? They were college kids, amateurs, and their only chance lay with one man, a coach who himself was cut from the 1960 gold medal team, Herb Brooks. Herb wasn't hired to coach them. He was hired to change them. He needed to build a team that didn't play American hockey. Herb knew that facing the Soviets required more than skill. It required a total psychological breakdown and rebuilding of the American identity. But how do you train college kids to think like Spetsnaz operatives? Brooks's training regimen was less about coaching and more about psychological warfare. He started by deliberately alienating the players. He forced rivals from college teams to room together. He never used the word we. It was always I and you. His goal was to strip away their college identities. His famous quote,
"You think you're good? Show me."
He pushed them past their physical limits, running brutal extended sprints known as the Herbies. But the most infamous moment came after a disappointing exhibition game against Norway. Herb was furious. He made them skate back and forth, relentlessly, without the lights on. He asked them the same question, over and over. Who do you play for? This wasn't punishment. This was engineering. By making them hate him more than they hated each other, he forged an unshakable bond among the players. He was the common enemy. When they finally yelled, "We play for the United States of America," the machine was finally built. The machine was ready. But before they could face the monster, they had to prove they could survive the real monster. They had to face the Soviets in an unscheduled warm-up game. 10 days before the Olympics, the U.S. played the Soviet machine in an exhibition game at Madison Square Garden. This was not a friendly match. This was a statement. This was the USSR reminding America of its place. The Soviets annihilated them. The final score was 10-3. It was an absolute massacre. Tretiak, the Soviet goalie, barely broke a sweat. The American media wrote them off immediately. The game served as a devastating psychological blow. Herb Brooks, however, saw something different. He didn't yell. He didn't punish. He calmly told his demoralized team, "You can't be good enough today, but in 2 weeks, when it matters, you will be." He had intentionally exposed them to the monster. Brooks believed that American teams suffered from an inferiority complex against the Soviets. By getting utterly humiliated before the tournament, he relieved the pressure. The expectations were zero. The fear was gone. They had nothing left to lose. The plan was in motion. The college kids were about to step onto the Olympic ice, facing the same monster, but this time under zero pressure. But could the machine hold together when the stakes were truly life and death? Lake Placid, February 22, 1980. The Soviet Union against the United States. This was not a game of hockey. This was a proxy battle of ideologies. And Brooks had one final brilliant tactical move. 4 minutes into the game, the Soviets scored. Then they scored again. But the American machine didn't break. Brooks had drilled them to play the European style, quick passes, transition defense, the Soviet way. By playing like their enemy, they canceled out their enemy's advantage. The moment that changed everything came in the final second of the first period. Mark Johnson scored a miracle goal, tying the game at 2-2. The Soviet coach, Viktor Tikhonov, panicked. He did the unthinkable. He pulled the best goalie in the world, Vladislav Tretiak. Brooks knew Tikhonov would pull him. He knew the arrogance of the Soviet system. By pulling Tretiak, Tikhonov not only weakened their defense, but gave the American kids an immense psychological boost. The monster was showing fear. The final 10 minutes were pure chaos. The moment Al Michaels screamed, "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes, the world stopped. The final score, USA 4, USSR 3. The amateurs had beaten the monster. The miracle on ice was one of the most important sports moments in USA history. But Herb Brooks, he never softened. After the team won the gold medal against Finland, Brooks didn't celebrate with them. He was already gone. He never allowed himself to get close to the machine he built. He went on to coach in the NHL, always maintaining his intensity, always pushing, always alienating his players before building them back up. He was a coach who succeeded by being the villain. But in a cruel twist of fate, the man who demanded perfection and control met a sudden, tragic end. In 2003, at the age of 66, Herb Brooks was killed in a single car accident. He left behind a complex legacy, a villain who created heroes, a coach who understood that to defeat a monster, you had to build something colder, harder, and smarter than they were. The machine won the war, and the engineer, Herb Brooks, walked away alone. Did Herb Brooks's brutal method justify the result? Was his genius worth the psychological cost? Let us know your thoughts below. And subscribe to Cold Gold Stories for more deep dives into the psychology of champions.